Hey, this is Toby. Today I will show you how to code a strategy with 100% win rate. Let's go. So this is the backtest result here for this strategy. If we take a look at the statistic, we can see 100% winning trades, not one losing trade in this backtest. And in this video, I will show you how to code this strategy. It's very simple. And in the end, we will also do additional backtests with the strategy. Okay, so let's jump right into meta editor and we start coding. So here we are in the meta editor. This is the RSI EA we coded last time here on this channel. We will use this EA and this code here, and we will modify it a little bit and add a filter to this RSI indicator. So if you have not watched the last video where we created this code here, I will link it up here so you can go watch it first. And we will use this code, modify it a little bit, add a filter to get the 100% win trade strategy. Okay, so let's save this file here with a new name. Let's call it RSI MA filter EA. Save. And now we have a new file where we can create our strategy. So let's compile first. Okay, no warnings, no errors, perfect. Okay, so let's start here at the top. This comment section here, I don't need this, so I will just delete it. So we start with the properties, copyright, of course we have 23 now. Okay, then we have our include. This will stay the same. Now here we start with the inputs to modify them a little bit. So we will just add here after the RSI level a input for a moving average period. So also of type integer, and let's call it input MI period. Default value, maybe also 21. And a comment moving average period. So you already know the filter will be a simple moving average indicator that we add to the RSI signal here. And another input we want for the moving average indicator is the time frame that it is running on. So input this type of enum time frames. This is the type, and the name is input MA time frame. And let's set it the default value to, I don't know, period 81. Also a comment here. Okay. Now we also need a stop loss, take profit. This all stays the same. And we also have the option to close our trades with a opposite signal of the RSI. Okay, so let's compile. And that's it for the inputs. Now we can take a look at the global variables. Okay, so now here in the global variables section, of course, we need another handle for the moving average and also another buffer for the moving average. But first of all, we want to rename this handle here to handle RSI, for example, and buffer RSI. So to do this, if we just add here RSI and then we compile, we get a lot of errors. So because down in the Untick function and so the handle is still called just handle. So we can use the search and replace function. So we just select the handle, press Ctrl F. And now here we can just replace the name handle with handle RSI. Make sure to select only this one here, match whole word only. And now we can click on replace all. And this will replace all handles with handle RSI. Okay, and we do the same for the buffer. Ctrl F. Buffer RSI. And replace all. Okay, so now if we compile, we should be fine and have no errors. Okay, now we want to add the handle for the moving average indicator. So handle MA for moving average and a buffer for the moving average. So buffer MA. Okay, we also need the current tick. We also need the C trade class in the trade object here. For this EA, we don't need the open time buy and open time sell variables, but we will delete them in the end, because if we delete them now, we will have we cannot compile without a error basically. So I will just make sure that we don't forget about this to delete them and write a comment here. Okay, let's compile. So that's it for the global variables. And now we can take a look at the OnInit function. Okay, so let's scroll down to the OnInit function here. And of course, here we check for the user inputs. This will all stay the same, but we want to add another check for the moving average period. So let's just copy this RSI period check here, paste it right here. Let's rename it input MA period. This should not be less or equal to 1, because a moving average period of 1 doesn't really make sense, or less. So let's also rename the alert function here, MA period, less or equal to 1. Okay, so that's for the user check here, user input check. Now here we still set the magic number, and here we create the RSI handle. Now here, of course, we need to add to also create the moving average handle. So let's rename this comment here, create indicator handles. And for the RSI handle, we now want to use the price open, not the price close. So here we will change this to price open mode. Yeah, this is still the same. So let's just copy this, paste it down here to create the moving average handle. So handle MA. Now the function is IMA. And I think for the parameters, they are pretty much the same. But for the period, of course, now we will have our input MA time frame period we want to use. The moving average period is our input MA period. The shift will be 0. Mode, we will just use a simple moving average here. And applied price or handle, we will also use the price open for this moving average. Okay, now we also change this here to handle MA. Failed to create indicator handle MA. Okay, and also we want to set the buffer here. We just set buffer as series here, and we will just add another line for the buffer moving average. Okay, I think that's it for the OnInit function here. Let's compile, and yeah, we can take a look at the OnDnet function next. So let's scroll down a little bit. So in the OnDnet function here, we just need to add, of course, another line for the moving average period, moving average indicator. So release indicator handles. Let's copy and paste this. Handle moving average, and also here handle MA. Okay, let's compile. That's all we need to edit here for the OnDnet function. And now let's take a look at the Untick function. Okay, so here, first of all, in the Untick, we want to check if the current tick is a new bar open tick, because we only want to work with our EA on open ticks of new bars. So we will write a comment here. Check if current tick is a new bar open tick. And now we write a if statement here, and we will call a custom function. We will code in a few seconds. So the function is called is new bar. And if this function here returns false, so it's not a new bar open tick, we will also just return here. And we will wait for the next bar open tick, basically. Okay, now this function here, we already coded this in a few other EAs. So I will just copy and paste it, but I will explain the function for you. So I think we used this function here in the Bollinger Bands EA. And yeah, down here it is. So I will just copy this from here. Now let's go down to the custom function section here. And we will just add this function here at the top. So this function just returns true or false whenever the tick is a bar open tick or not. So we will just have a static variable here of type datetime, previous time, set to 0 at the start. Another variable here, current time. This is the current time of the bar open. And then we just check if the previous time is not equal to the current time. We set the previous time to the current time and return true, and otherwise we return false. So that's it for the function, and I just copy and paste it here because, yeah, I'm lazy. Okay, but you can code it. Just pause for a second and code it. Okay, now we can go up to the Untick function again, and we should be able to compile. Yes, everything works fine. And now the next step in the Untick function will be to get the values for the moving average. Okay, so we will just copy this section here, get RSI values, and we will use the same code to get our moving average values, or just value, because we only need one value for the moving average. So here, of course, we don't need to declare this variable again, because we already have declared here. So we just use it here, copy buffer, handle, of course, now is the handle moving average. So this will be also 0 for the main. You can also write here main line, for example, for the moving average, but I will just use 0, 0, and 1 here, because we only want 1, the latest value. And of course, we will store this value here in our buffer moving average. Okay, now here we need to change this values not equal to 1. Then we want to print a error message, failed to get indicator values. Maybe we change this print statement here, failed to get MA value, and also here failed to get RSI values. Okay, so let's compile. And in order to be able to check if the values are correct, we use the comment function here. So here's the value for the first RSI buffer. Of course, for the RSI, we have 2 values. So we will add another line here, \n, RSI1, RSI1. And here the next line will be for buffer MA, the latest value. So also here, buffer MA and index 0. Okay, let's compile. Okay, now we can start a quick visual test here to check if the values we're getting here from the copy buffer functions are correct. So we will just switch to the tester here. We will select our RSI MA filter EA here, and we will just start a visual test. Yeah, now you can see the values up here, top left corner. And if you choose the crosshair here, you can see the current value of the RSI here in this data window. So if we just let it run a little bit, and now let's take a look at the latest value. This is 47.64 in the data window, and up left corner is also 47.64. So the first RSI value is correct. Now the previous RSI value is 50.39 in the data window, and up in the top left corner it's also 50.389. Of course, it's rounded, so that's correct. Now the moving average value here is 77.17, and we can take a look at this here at the second chart, because this is now the time frame H1. If we take a look at the latest value here, we can see in the data window it's also 77.17. Okay, so the values we are getting here for our RSI and moving average are correct. And we can close this tester window again and go back to the editor. Okay, so the last step we need to do here in the Untick function is to add our moving average filter to the condition where we check for a new buy position and a new sell position. So this count open position here stays the same. And now here for the check for a buy position, the RSI condition is also the same. And now, as I said in the beginning, we don't need this open time buy variable here anymore. So we delete it and add the condition for the moving average filter. So we only want to take a buy position when the price is above the current moving average value and a sell position when we are below the moving average. So we can just use our current tick variable here, dot ask, and this has to be greater than our current moving average value. And now here, of course, we don't need to set the time open time buy variable here. So we delete this line. We still have the option to close the sell positions here. We calculate stop loss, take profit, normalize the stop loss, take profit, and we open a buy position here. Maybe we also want to change the comment here, RSI MA filter or something like this. Okay, and we do the same for the sell condition here. The RSI condition stays the same, open time sell. We will delete this condition and we add current tick dot bid has to be below our buffer MA value. And we also delete this line here. Yeah, everything else stays the same. And we just change the comment here. MA filter EA. Okay. And now we want to go, or let's compile first. And now we go up and delete here the two global variables. We don't need them anymore. And let's compile again. And this should be it for our EA. Now I will scroll through the code again from top to bottom, just so you don't need the previous RSI tutorial and just code everything from this video here. So this is the Untick function. And down here we have our custom functions, the count open positions function, the normalized price, and the close positions function. Okay, so let's switch to MetaTrader platform and we can do a few backtests. Okay, so here we are in the strategy tester. Just make sure to select the RSI MA filter EA we just created. I will use the US$ Japanese yen. It's a custom symbol for this test and the time frame is 5 minutes. We will start in 2012 to today. No delay here. Now the modeling mode, of course, we select the open price only mode because we only react on open ticks anyways. So it's just much faster. Maybe we start with a visual test here to see a few trades. And now let's take a look at the inputs here. So the inputs for this test will be 25 for the RSI period, 70 for the RSI level, 25 for the moving average period. Time frame for the moving average is 1 hour and no stop loss, take profit of 100 points. And we also have the option to close the trades on a opposite signal. Okay, so let's do a visual test and we will take a look at a few trades of the strategy. Of course, you can see the moving average here on the second chart on the 1 hour time frame. This is our filter and this here, the RSI is our signal. So let's take a look at a few trades here. We can see this was a sell trade here and we closed in profit at the take profit. Here was a short buy trade. Here we opened the buy trade here where we crossed into the oversold region with the RSI indicator and then we closed the position here at the take profit. Okay, so the trades are working correctly. And now we can deselect here this visual mode and we can do a backtest for the last 10 years. Okay, you can see this is the equity graph of the strategy. Yeah, it's looking very nice. And as I said at the beginning, 100% winning trades, not one losing trade for the strategy. Okay, but I have to make a quick and important note here. Of course, the strategy looks very nice and the backtest result is amazing. No losing trades, amazing equity. But would I trade something like this on a live account? No, I would never trade something like this on a live account. First of all, we don't have a stop loss with the strategy. And second of all, this is just a optimization result. So this combination is very likely to just be lucky on the period we tested, and it will not perform like this in the future. But I think the combination of RSI and moving average filter has a lot of potential. We can take a look at another combination I would trade maybe on a live account. So the RSI period of 15, MA period of 10, stop loss of 150 points, and take profit of 400. Now, if we take a look at this backtest result here, we can see it's also a very nice equity graph, but we also have losing trades because we have a stop loss. And this is much more likely to perform in the future because I also optimized the strategy up until here, I think, and all this other stuff here is out of sample, basically. But of course, I would do a lot more testing, stability testing, and so on before I would trade a strategy in the live market. Okay, but there you have it. This was our RSI strategy with a moving average filter. And of course, now you can add other indicators as a filter, other indicators as a signal. Just test everything you want. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, would be nice if you just leave a like. And also if you have questions about automated trading, about this tutorial, coding and stuff, you can write a comment, write me via Telegram or through my website. And yeah, I will see you in one of the next videos where I will tell you why I don't like to exit my trades with a stop loss. This will not be a coding video, but something for the strategy development and playlist. Okay, so if you don't want to miss that, subscribe, and I will see you in one of the next videos. Bye.